like we need a little adjusting on this camera. Live coast to coast and beyond. Got a few things to go over before we get started, but what we're going to talk about today is a little economics lesson. Hoogie has spent a lot of time in the classroom in his younger years. It took me a long time to get my undergraduate degree, and as such, I benefited from a lot of classroom seat time, and we're going to pass along a little bit of our knowledge to you folks and help clear up, actually help stamp out some of the frontiers of ignorance all over the place. We're still getting ready for the coin seminar weekend coming up on Sunday, and on that weekend we're going to be giving away a beautiful coin. It's going to be this coin right here, which is an 1879 Morgan silver dollar. And before I touch it with my fingers, I will put on a glove. But that's going to be our giveaway coin. Uncirculated, probably about a MS61, 1879 Philadelphia Mint Morgan silver dollar with the reverse of the 79 to make things simple. But special thanks to Paula for all of her work putting together the other giveaway, which will take place on Monday on Ken Peavy's show, which he'll be giving away a $5 gold piece. And you'll want to check out the shows on the coin weekend this weekend to get the clues to try to win that $5 gold piece. And he's still taking donations on the gold piece, and hope everybody can get in on that, and good luck winning. There will be one clue given out here on Sunday. Our show will be at high noon Eastern time. We're in Eastern Standard Time here in South Carolina, of course, and our show will be at 12 o'clock. So check that out. Get the clue. There's Blues Coins. Greetings, Blues. Thank you for joining us. We'll give just a minute. Maybe we'll give a few more people. Now, I don't have a huge following by any means, but I try to get a little practice in, especially before the coin seminar weekend, and make some of this stuff work. It's only a matter of time before my mouse flakes out on me. I'm a Mac user, and the Mac mouses are notoriously unreliable for doing things like that, moving the screens around, and let me flip that over so we can see just how beautiful the other side is. The reverse. Gonna give that one away, and if you're sharp, you'll pick up a clue as to how you can win this baby right here today. We hear a lot of talk about this New York Hoard, the New York Hoard of Morgan silver dollars. And folks, I've heard very good coin people talk about it. How look at the coin prices. Look what it's doing. It's obviously the New York Hoard influencing the prices of the silver dollars and driving our price down by flooding the market. And folks, I just don't see it. Let's see if I can do this. This is one of the things I want to practice here with you. So please indulge me as I use you folks for a guinea pig. I want to go to this and this. Hopefully you can see that. And if you look at that, this is the Numis Media chart for today. This, you can look at, see the good grades through extra fine and even into AU. There's a lot of red numbers. Look at that. It's like a Blake Shelton song. Red, 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 red. All over the place. By the way, the 78s, the 1878s are basically black. They're holding their own this year. But all these common dates, they have slipped down to $24 a piece in the grade of good 4, and the other common date low grades are certainly in the same boat. So look at that. Now, if you look at the Carson cities, they're not doing that. They're actually, some of them, there's the 83s, they're gaining ground in the mid to higher grades, holding their own in low grades. It's like that all over the place. Look at the Carson cities there, the 85 Carson cities, holding their own. And some other common dates, the 87 Philly, losing its tail. Look at that. All the way down, that one too, down to $24 a piece in good. So that's the story. These low grade common dates, they're getting killed this year. But it's easy to say, well, the New York Hoard is doing it. Well, we're going to have a little lesson today in a few Latin terms, and one of those would be the post hoc scenario. Post hoc comes from post hoc ipso propter hoc. That is, after the thing, therefore caused by the thing. Look at the 21s, how badly they are doing. They're down to $18 a piece in good. So a lot of red on the low grade common dates. Okay, I'm gonna go back to OBS if I can, and I'm gonna go back to where I'm a little more comfortable. I'm not even sure if you guys saw that right there, but we looked at the chart for the Morgans in the low grades, especially how they are just getting destroyed right now. And I'm gonna get that out of the way so I can see a little more. Tim Holmes has joined us. Hi, Tim, and welcome to Hoogie's Hobby Shop. We'll have a little economics lesson here. All those low-grade Morgan silver dollars, they are almost entirely driven by the price of silver. The price of silver is driven by 1,000 components, and none of which we have any control over. Industrial, manufacturing stuff, international politics, and monetary stuff. It's mind-boggling how complicated the price of silver really is. But it's all just killing those basically bullion type coins in the low grade common dates. The higher grades they're holding their own in general. Certainly the common dates are holding their own. So many of them are making headway and doing well. Corey's joined us. Hi, Corey. Welcome. First time here. In case you haven't seen, we're going over this business of the low grade common date Morgans, why the prices on them are so terrible right now. This will be the coin we give away on Sunday in the coin seminar weekend, coming up high noon Eastern time on Sunday. We're going to give this baby away, and as I was telling the others, listen up, you may get a clue as to how you can win this thing. So it's an 1879 Philly Morgan, and it is beautiful, uncirculated condition, and it's one you don't want to miss out on if you can help it. Look at that. I got my picture all really big now, and I'm not real sure how to shrink it real easily. Let's see if we can take care of that. Y'all don't want to look at me that much. See if I can. Yeah, this is where my mouse is acting up because it won't click. There it goes. Wow, and now it won't do anything. Well, folks, we might have to wing it here, because that thing is totally acting up on me. Yeah, gonna do that to me on Sunday too, probably. So I'll need to practice. I can't find my other edge over here. Getting a little better. I can see the chat now. Hi Trey, welcome aboard. We're talking Morgan silver dollars, as we many times do here at the hobby shop, and I am doing a little practice session here with my OSB software at your expense, so bear with me. It takes a little practice to do this stuff, and like I said earlier, my mouse is acting up. The Mac mouses, man, you have to stick shims of paper and all kinds of junk in there, you know, pieces of dried cranberry and whatever you got, stick them in the mouse and make it work. So as we were saying, the low-grade common date Morgans are getting killed, and it's because of the price of silver. Now we've got our message board back here. You'll want to keep an eye on the message board, but that's our very sophisticated logo there. All right, if anybody's ever been in economics class, you'll be bored to tears, but here you go. In economics, we do it backwards. We put the price on the y-axis. We put the Q on the x-axis. Okay? And you can kind of see that. Demand curves always slope down. There's your demand curve for average coins in a year. It goes like that. High price means low quantity desired. Low price means higher quantity desired. Okay? The only reason we put P on the y-axis is so it can look high and low. All right, no matter what the supply curve looks like, and on coins the supply curve looks kind of like this. You got an equilibrium price. Anytime there's a whole bunch more coins coming to the market, it moves the whole supply curve to the right, somewhere over here, drives the new equilibrium price to a lower point, and the price is lower. You can see the original equilibrium price is up there, the new equilibrium price is down there. Okay, that's Hoogenomics 101. Makes no difference. Demand curve always slopes down, and so this always holds true in all markets. So supply curve, regardless of its shape, it will also, if it shifted to the right, the price will go down. Now, there's also another term, a Latin term. We're doing Latin today. It's called ceteris, I think it's AS, yeah, paribus. Ceteris paribus. All equal. All things being equal, ceteris paribus will hold. Now, you can't really see that, can you? But that's what it says. It's ceteris paribus. And the idea is, in economics, as long as everything is equal, then the outcome can be predicted, such as a whole bunch of coins coming into the market driving the price down. If your ceteris or paribus, or as my professor, who was a southern boy like me, he said, ceteris paribus. So if your ceteris or paribus, your price will go down. Historically, it ain't been the case, folks. We've had, all right, let me tell you, this New York hoard, I like to call it the Wall Street hoard. It's 16,000 coins, which to me and you is a lot of coins. But 16,000 coins in the ocean of Morgan silver dollars is not going to make a ripple. We've had back in the 70s, we had 2.9 million coins come out from the GSA hoard, and they did change the landscape for a while on Morgan silver dollars, but those Carson cities, no, they're not dirt cheap, believe me. And so don't get too carried away thinking that any market of Morgan dollars is going to get flooded by 16,000 coins ever. It's just not enough coins. There's been hoards besides the GSA hoard. Right after that, in the mid-70s, was the Redfield hoard. That was like 400,000 coins. Many of them were S mints, and many of them were really good dates. Carson City's in there too. but it didn't make a dent. It didn't change the prices for long-term effects at all. After that came another Hoard. Now this one was a lot like the New York Hoard, and yeah, you're right, Corey. It doesn't help the silver is down too. Silver is driving that price. Those low-grade Morgans in common dates, much of their intrinsic value is the silver in the doggone coin. So when silver is low, bad news for the low-grade common dates, big time. And that is not going to continue indefinitely. I mean, it wasn't that long ago silver was a lot higher. And back in 2011, it was close to like $50 an ounce. So I don't expect that, but I do expect it probably to turn around because people who know about such things are talking like that. The Redfield Hoard didn't have any effect. Then there was the Continental Illinois Bank Hoard. That came out around 1982 or so. There was a bank that had done real well making loans to oil companies. And incidentally, that's my email address over there if anybody cares. If you ever need to contact me, over here, cartwrights.vest@gmail.com. You know, call me up, cuss me out, whatever you're going to do. I can take it. The Continental Illinois Bank started to fail when deregulation came along under the Reagan years, and the oil, the guys who had made the loans, who had gotten the loans, weren't able to pay them back. So the bank got in trouble. The FDIC went to full bailout mode. They had to liquidate some of their on-hand cash reserves, many of which were Morgan silver dollars, and they had, how many did they have? They had 1,500 bags. So they had 1.5 million coins, Morgan silver dollars on hand. Now, 1 million of those were uncirculated, like this beauty right here we're looking at. And 1 million of them, well, the other 500,000 of them were bought up by one guy, and he was very discreet and secret and all that about it. But when those piece by piece by piece hit the market, they had no effect at all on the overall price. By the way, we picked up a whole lot of more collectors at the same time, and that helped to keep the price up, even though there was a pretty good flood of coins coming in, and coming in slowly. The Ceteris were not paribus, and our demand, remember our supply and demand, our demand curve moved to up here. And so even though the supply curve moved, the demand curve moved too. Supply curve moved over here, demand curve moved over here, and everything ended up with a higher price in the end because our Ceteris were not paribus. You get what I'm saying? We added a whole lot more collectors. Now, I'm really lousy at drawing all this stuff on a little teeny board for you, but I think you get the idea. The market conditions can change given different economic things. We were coming off of a recession right there in 82 and 83, and the prices of precious metals was up. As you know, that's when we changed away from using copper coins, copper pennies, because the copper price was so high. Silver price was also up at that time. So here's our little econ lesson for the day. In the words of Meadowlark Lemon, the clown prince of basketball, he would say, he'd give a little halftime speech to the Harlem Globetrotters. He'd say, "You got it? You got it? Yeah, we got it. You got it? Yeah." He said, "Good. Forget the whole thing." Then they'd go out and have fun. And, you know, in coin collecting, for goodness sakes, people, have some fun with the thing, will you? That's all I got to say about that. So we've had our little econ lesson. We've had our little history lesson. And there's even another hoard that hit the market around 98, a guy named Binion. He was a casino fellow, very flashy character, and he had all these Morgan silver dollars, something like 100,000 coins Not all of them were silver, were Morgans, but he had like 100,000 rare coins stashed out in a desert in this weird underground vault. And when he died, they hit the market. You can bet the IRS took a part of them too. But anyway, they hit the market, and it didn't make a material dent in the prices of the Morgan silver dollars. Now you remember the Continental Illinois Bank hoard that I talked about a minute ago. If you look at the list, it's eerily similar to the Wall Street hoard or the New York hoard. Listen to the list of dates: 79S, 80S, 81S, 82S, 83O. All right, that's like about half of them. Then the other over at the Wall Street hoard, look at the dates: 78S, that one doesn't match. 80S, 81S, 83O. Then all of those do match. 84O, same. 85O in both of them. 86 Philly in both of them. 87 Philly in both of them. And then there's a couple of oddballs that are not in both of them. But they're all common dates, and they're all very similar. I got them right here in my never before nicotine stained fingers, as what's his name would say. But the Continental hoard, it was 1.5 million coins. Now, it says here, most of my dollars I got for $1 from the banks in the early 60s. That's exactly right, Tim. That was the time to get them too, and that's when the Continental Illinois Bank got most of theirs too. They kept them on hand as cash reserves, which for which they paid $1 in general, and they could buy lots of them being a bank. And they knew very smartly that they could sell those for a lot more than $1. And so when the bailout came along, they were able to sell them off for, whatever it was like $30 a piece or something like that. The Hunt brothers, what did Hunt brothers do with all the silver they pay $50 for? Well, there have been various people try to corner the silver market, and goodness knows what they do with it all. That's I guess that's their business. Now, if we take into account the effects of the historical effects of these big hoards, these were big. All these were a lot bigger than the New York hoard. Remember, New York hoard's only 1,000 pieces. How in the world is the New York hoard going to affect the price of Morgan silver dollars? It's beyond me. People are disregarding that there are millions and millions and millions of them out there. Many of them are in big bank vaults. They're stuck in there just like they were with the Continental Illinois Bank. They're laying in the vault, waiting for the rainy day. If they ever have to bail out and have to liquidate their cash assets, they can liquidate those for more than face value. That's all there is to it. So, I don't want to argue with people. That's the way I see it. And if they can prove me otherwise, by all means, send me an email. Love to hear it. But don't be afraid. Anytime somebody starts talking economic news and there's a lot of fear involved, red flags go up. You know, they claim they can predict the future, or they claim they know exactly what's going on, when at all times their ceteris may not be paribus, and it may not be what it looks like. So, with that in mind, there were some coins that were slightly affected. Now, the hoard, the first one, the big one, the GSA hoard, it changed the fate of the 19030 coin. Get one of those out. I should have got one. But the 19030 coin at one time was an extremely rare date before the GSA hoard came out, and there was just tens of thousands of them in the GSA hoard. It changed the 030 forever, turned it into almost a common date. So that's the one exception to the rule. There you go. Ceteris are not paribus. And in the 70s, there were some coins. Now here's one of my favorite coins, period. Not just Morgan coins, but one of my favorite of all the coins. This is an 1881. You can see there's a little scar across her face. And that is not uncommon at all with these GSA coins in high grade. They got bag marks galore. A few other scattered contact marks. But still, probably an MS-62 or so. This is a raw coin I bought from a very good dealer. And you can see right there the Carson City mint mark. Grab my pointy stick. As always, special thanks to Waffle House for the pointy stick that they give out for free. Alright, so there's your CC mint mark. And there we go. As always, the obligatory robocall interrupting things. So the 81cc, about half of the ones ever minted of the, hi Lincoln, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. The 81cc's, let's get a number on that. I have a note. Half of the 81cc's ever minted turned up in the GSA Hoard. Yeah. And I've misplaced that one note. But yeah, it certainly changed the landscape for the population on that. Here you go. There was 296,081 cc's minted, and gosh, half of 147,485 turned up in the GSA Hoard. Okay, and it was sold out in over, I think, 7 different sales to the public, mail order sales from the government to the public, and they sold them out like that. So half of the ones in existence now came from the doggone GSA Hoard, and it still didn't make a material impact on lowering, long-term, lowering the price of the coins. Same thing with the 82cc. Very similar story. And it looks like, yeah, it's about half of those came from the GSA Hoard, the 1882 cc's. 1882, 83, and 84 cc all were in that same boat. Here's an 84 cc, also in very high grade. It's so shiny it's glaring from the light. It has some really good luster on it. But also lots of bag marks, very typical of those GSA coins. 1884 cc, well more than half of those came from the GSA Hoard. There was 1.136 million originally minted, and 962,000 of them turned up in the GSA Hoard. So, gosh, there was only, a couple 100,000 that were not GSA Hoards. And that stuff hit the market in the 70s and made it lowered it for a little while, but in the long term, you can see the charts for yourself. The Carson Cities are hardly hurting for value. So, in fact, they are doing, they are holding their value when all those common dates are losing value. Here's the reverse of that 84 cc. And you never know when one of these coins might turn up again. So take a good look there. There's the reverse. You can see lots of good tail, breast feathers and everything in there. You can see good detail on the, well, not from this picture, but up close you can see good detail on the claws and everything. Stars and all that. And the denticles are all really nicely struck. So that's a pretty doggone good coin there. And I don't even remember where it came from. I don't even remember where I bought it. It certainly appears to be one of the GSA Hoard coins that has gotten out of its box somewhere. So let's see here. What else do we have in our stack of stuff? That's going to about do it for today. Remember, we got the coin seminar weekend coming up on Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. You can check out old Ken Peavy's blog and see who comes up when. Check out your favorite ones, and if you check them all out, there will be a clue given in generally every show. And Paula is organizing the whole thing. There'll be a clue given on this show on Sunday. Sometime during the show, we'll have between 12 and 12:30 will be the show. It may start a little bit early, just to get going and get relaxed and get oriented and kind of test out the equipment a little bit. But Sunday at 12 will be our show, and check out the others. You might have a real good chance of getting that $5 gold piece, and that thing's in MS-70. If you've seen Ken Peavy's show here lately, he shows it all the time. So anyway, Lincoln says, I remember those. You mean the GSA the GSA silver dollars that came out in the 70s? That's when they were first discovered in like 62, and there was a lot of talk about them, and things went on and on. They got them all sorted out and finally got them up for sale in 1970. Put them in little things with the documentation, a little note from Richard Nixon and all that. I've got some around here, but sometimes the GSA coins, there's a special designation for what prices on them. Sometimes they're a pinch lower than non-GSA coins. I don't understand why that is. To me, they're the exact same coin in the same grade. So, anybody have any questions or want to argue about economics? Now's your chance. I got the cranberry juice out. Y'all pardon me. If not, we'll see you guys maybe later this week, and certainly on Sunday. Everybody have a great week, and take care of those coins. Take care of yourself. Take care of the coin community. Next time.